My name's Alex. I play guitar in the band Conditions.
So how are you enjoying the tour so far? How's the chemistry with the band? Everything?
The tour has been great. All the other bands have been really cool. Pretty much from day one. None of us, other than we've toured with Versa Merge a bunch, so we're good friends with them for a long time. But the other three bands we'd never met, and then so coming in, we just met at the beginning, and we've had fun so far. We've gotten really close with other dudes and drugs. Have been really cool, and Ice of Stars has been fun, and then Black Veil Guys have been really nice too, so it's been cool.
So we had talked about previously, Fluorescent Youth was the album that came out back in September, so I mean I'm seeing a lot of positive feedback with the album, just from what I'm reading online.
It's been really good. I mean, we're really thankful that people are into it, because we worked our butts off making it, and so it makes it that much sweeter, when you're proud of something, but then again, people also really enjoy it. So yeah, people that have picked it up have had nothing but good things to say, so we're happy with that.
So how was it to see yourself on the cover of Alternative Press and everything?
It's like a dream. I've been a subscriber to AP since I was a kid, and then to see my band name on the front is just it's awesome. It's a big deal.
So your plans are, you guys are doing Bamboozle Festival, right? So what are your hopes for that? How's that going to be? That's a mixed bag of artists.
That's all over the spectrum. That's cool. I mean, I've been to Bamboozle before. We played in 2007. It's funny. It's like one of our first shows as a band, actually. We won a competition to play. It's like a local kind of thing, whatever. Even though we're from Virginia, but yeah. So we played that until 2007. We didn't even have a demo or anything. But it's gonna be awesome. There's a lot of bands I'm playing that I look up to, and bands I want to see, and then there's also Bruno Mars and Lil Wayne. So it'll be cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I know it's a really hectic day. It's like 50,000 people in the size of this table, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the crew and Insane Clown Posse on the same roster. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Gotta be there. So after that, what are you guys doing? Because that's like a 2-3 day thing. So
yeah, the tour wraps up first, second week of May, and then we'll be home for a little bit, and then in June we're heading out with our friends and There for Tomorrow. And then that's a pretty short run, and then July through September we're gonna do another full US with Ann Arbor. So yeah, so that'll be fun.
So what was the scene like for you growing up, and starting out in Richmond? I mean, I know that they mentioned a lot of metal bands coming from Richmond, like Gwar and Lamb of God.
Yeah. I still to this day have never seen Gwar, and I feel like that's a crazy thing coming from growing up in Richmond and whatever. I've never seen Gwar. Like what? So I hope no one kicks my ass for that. But I was younger than much of that, so I grew up really going Strike Anywhere shows. So I Strike Anywhere, River City High were my things growing up in Richmond. And of course a little bit of the older stuff like Avail and Beretta. That was the local scene. So I really grew up really liking a lot of pop punk and stuff. Blink-182 basically shaped me starting out. And then I got into heavier stuff as I got a little older, and Thrice is probably the first heavier band that I got into, and they're still to this day my favorite band. So yeah, that was it. Strike Anywhere, punk rock scene in Richmond. That was what I grew up on.
So how are you dealing with fan base now? When fans will come up to you and say, your lyrics have touched them in some way, the music has affected them in some way. What is that like for you as an artist?
I mean, that means the world. It blows my mind that it started it has that kind of effect. Because as a fan first, I grew up loving different records and feeling the same way, connecting some way with different stuff, and to know that the stuff that we've been making, have had that sort of effect on people, just kind of blows my mind. It's almost an out of body experience. Take a step back and be wow, this is really working. So it's great. It's really flattering, and we're totally thankful for that kind of response, and I hope it continues to grow like that.
So what was the first album you remember purchasing that left a lasting impression on you?
I'm trying to think of like the first few albums I actually bought. I got a lot of like hand-me-down tapes and CDs because I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. So my older brothers really had a lot of influence on like the kind of stuff that I listened to. You know, my brother would give me anything from. I remember having on tape like Offspring Smash was like a big one for me, and he gave me like Radiohead, OK Computer, and then I got like on CDs like Green Day, Dookie, Blink-182, Dude Ranch, like all that stuff really kind of shaped everything.
I think I had them all and wore the cassette out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And it's just crazy. Like 2 nights on this tour, Mike Dirk from Green Day has been at this tour in San Francisco and last night in New York. And I've been able to talk to him, just be like, this like blows my mind. It's like, dude, you like shaped, your band like shaped who I am, and you're just a super nice guy, like just talking to him. So, yeah, all that kind of like late 90s, early 2000s. Foo Fighters is another really big one for me. Yeah, that's all. We're pretty much all about there too.
I think that there was such a surge of solid rock music like during that time, and personally I think we're due for like another surge.
I hope so.
I think everyone.
I really hope so. And people have said really nice stuff about us because we're not really like no frills really. You know, we're pretty just straight up like rock band, and you know, people have said like, you know, we're into that kind of stuff. You're not all like neon colored, poppy, whatever. You're just like a rock band. Like you got hooks and you can be catchy, but you're also kind of heavy at the same time. And I like that people are like can appreciate that. And I hope that more bands are coming out like that. It's just about being real and not using auto-tune and all the crap of today, and just being a band. You know.
Do you feel that presents like an extra challenge sometimes, even dealing with like the industry side of things?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I think most people can see some sort of genuine quality to that, and I hope they can. And but on the other end, it is kind of hard to compete where every band on the radio is oversaturated auto-tune with, you know, electronic drums, whatever. But you know, we're just gonna keep doing what we do and hope people like it.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else about the same thing, you know, and they had said, you know, you've got these bands like Beach House now and Mumford and Sons, which is something totally different that you don't hear. And I think people are definitely being drawn to that just because of, you know, everything's either pop or dance or art.
Yeah, no, Mumford and Sons is one of the records that I'm like totally listening to a ton right now. I think they're so talented, just like raw, natural. Like most of the stuff they play is all acoustic stuff. There's no gimmick to it. They're just awesome. Yeah. So I hope that there's more stuff like that coming out.
So what's the creative process like for you guys? Like what generally comes first? What kind of stuff inspires you?
The music generally comes first. Normally, like Jason, our other guitarist, or myself will kind of like just play around with something. Normally Jason comes up with like a riff of some sort, and we'll kind of, between the two of us, kind of lay out like the shell of a song and with our drummer and get everything straight. And then once the music is pretty much all the way done, then I'll like demo it on my computer, and then we'll throw like some vocals on there and switch up as we need to. But most of the time it's just all the way music and then all the way vocals. And I don't know, normally like there's some times where we just kind of pick up something along the way. Like there's a few songs we've been playing in soundcheck, just kind of ideas that we're using because we haven't really gotten into the writing mode. We're always like playing around with stuff, but it's not until like we'll be like, all right, we need to work on like some new songs. We'll take 3-4 weeks and hash out like some demos or whatever. So normally when we need to get down to business, we've kind of got some ideas already in the back of our head that we can hash them out quickly.
That's good. Yeah. That's definitely good. So, do you have a preference between playing like smaller club shows versus the bigger festivals?
It's both of them have their pros and cons. I think smaller club shows, if it's packed out, the crowd's fun and getting into it, and jumping off the stage, whatever, that's cool. That's cool with me. Like that's how I like shows. That's how I grew up going to shows. And then, but then also playing bigger shows. Like even tonight, like for us is a bigger show. and that's really cool because like you know they're I don't want to say easy because that sounds weird, but it's like you can just get the crowd involved so easily.
Yeah.
Where like if it's a smaller room, people might be a little more like judgmental and it's kind of like, well, you know, what are you doing up there? Whereas like with a crowd like this, it's all big. It's kind of mighty together. You can just say make some noise and you just hear this uproar, and so that makes it really exciting for us. And you see them getting people involved, jumping on their feet, and it just looks like a giant wave of people. It's really cool.
So you remember your first show?
I do. My first show, it was a concert, really. It was Foo Fighters and Red Hot Chili Peppers in Norfolk, Virginia. And I was probably like 11 or 12, and I still remember it to this day. It's so amazing. And then also like my first like show was River City High in Richmond. I was probably like 12 or 13 or something. Yeah, so yeah, no, I still remember both those like it was yesterday.
What about your first time performing yourself?
Terrifying. I played in a really bad cover band with some of my best friends, like in like middle school. We'd play like Blink-182 and Green Day covers and stuff. I think the first time we ever really like played was like 7th grade talent show or something. And we played like a Blink-182 song. We were horrible, but it was fun. You know, that's all that mattered.
So what's been one of your craziest touring stories?
We get this question a lot, and I need to start like thinking of like really like pick them out because there's plenty to be picked. But I always find myself like leaving an interview and like, oh, I should have said that one. But I think it's kind of a funny story, more of like a dare on this tour. I've made it somewhat of a ritual to stage dive during Drugs' set every night. Like almost every night, I'll just hop out and it's just fun. And we've become friends with those guys, so it's just kind of funny. And one night I was talking with Matt Good, their guitarist, and basically with us joking around, basically it came down to a dare for me to kiss him on the lips and then jump into the crowd. Let me know when I'm straight, and so is he. But I did. I threw a beach ball into the crowd. I went up, I kissed him on the lips, and then I jumped in the crowd and fell straight to the ground. And so that was entertaining to say the least. But we've had a lot of good times on this tour. It's been awesome.
Yeah. I always get that question too answered with, "We can't talk about it."
Yeah, there's definitely some that I'm just gonna plead the fifth.
That's cool though. I understand. So what is the strangest rumor that you've heard about the band?
Strangest rumor. There's a couple. People think me and Brandon are brothers all the time. I guess we look kind of similar, but people will just like say that we're brothers or something. We did a tour with Paramore a couple years ago, and we came back to Richmond. We did a radio interview, and on the radio they said they had heard that like our drummer Ryan was dating Haley, and we were like, what? No, she's dating somebody else. So like, yeah, we've heard all kinds of weird stuff. I've heard that we're like breaking up, or someone quit or anything, pretty frequently or whatever. Yeah, there's endless amounts of people just make crap up.
Sometimes I think people just blog it and
just get bored.
It's like they see somebody with somebody and all of a sudden they're dating and this, that, and the other. So, being that we're a pop culture site, is there an area in particular of pop culture that fascinates you or angers you in any way?
I would probably say we actually have a song kind of about that kind of thing called Miss America. We tour and a lot of times the people that are like, we see a vast amount of young girls at our shows, like 12 years old and whatever. And sometimes I'm just like, what are you wearing? Like, why are you wearing that? It's not like, you're a child. And then that's not how it was. I mean, not to sound like an old man, I'm only 24, but like when I was growing up, it just wasn't like that. I don't know, it's changed the last 10 years, but that song is kind of just about like the over sexualization of like advertisement and stuff like that, where like these little girls just want to be like think it's cool to be like Snooki or Paris Hilton or whatever, and it just breaks my heart because they're looking up to the totally wrong people, and I wish there were more like positive influences out there that just be yourself for a while, grow up, be a kid, and that's almost like kind of what our record's almost about. With like the as a kid, you're always just striving to be older, like you're tired of your youth. Whereas like on the other end, people are getting older, like man, I wish I was a kid again, So people are growing up too fast and then they miss it. So yeah, I would say probably that, like especially in advertising. And I was an advertising major in college, so.
You got the inside look at it then. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense too what you said about aging. They had had us do an experiment in college where you had to take the jars of pennies and calculate how long you had left with them and put a penny every day in the other jar. It really opens your eyes to how much time you're wasting with little stuff. Well, I definitely want to thank you for taking the time out to speak with me. Is there anything that we did not cover in the interview that you'd like to discuss with fans?
I mean, I would just say our single "Better Life" is on alternative radio stations now, so I'd say please go and request that and help us out, and then check out our album.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.